If true, this changes everything for the Los Angeles Lakers. Is following the Lakers' clear need for a big man following their game against the Jazz, some new ridiculous rumors have started to surface surrounding the Mark Williams trade with the Los Angeles Lakers. These rumors are ridiculous, and some new reports have dropped revealing that the whole trade saga surrounding Mark Williams and the Lakers may not be done just yet. We're going to break down all those reports and discuss what this means going forward as the Lakers are in a very interesting spot. But before we get into it, folks, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the percentage that aren't subscribed to the channel, but 90% of you, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. We're on the road, and we're getting close to 15K. So if you want to help us towards that goal, make sure to hit the subscribe button. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to go over today. Obviously, reports are starting to swirl surrounding Mark Williams, about both Mark Williams and the Lakers, about how the trade with the Hornets. There's some crazy reports about going to a trial, crazy things. But we're going to start with some rumors. Now, take this with a grain of salt because at this juncture, they are just rumors. We're still going to cover it for you anyway because it's a very interesting thing paired with a report from David McMenamin. We'll start with this rumors. You can see this here from Basketball Ground. It says the Lakers' Mark Williams is unwilling to return to the Hornets, can request a buyout. There's a chance that Mark Williams may join the Lakers as a buyout player. You see this here, if this rumor happens to be true, Lakers get to keep Dalton, Knecht, and get Mark Williams. Lakers destined to win the championship. Masterclass by Rob Pelinka. Okay. First of all, I do not think that this is going to happen. I don't think this is a super likely possibility, but the rumor's starting to swirl there about how, and we'll dive into a more realistic possibility that could happen in a minute from the report from David McMenamin, but this has been swirling, so I want to bring it up. Clearly, Mark Williams doesn't want to be in Charlotte right now. He's refusing to play apparently. Now, whether it's because of his injury or not is still up in the air. And you can see this here. He was listed as out once again on February 11th. Mark Williams went from not on the injury report to listed out. Hornets are some certified bozos, man, legit circus over there. So he was supposed to be able to play, and then they took him out. I don't think Mark Williams wants to play with the Hornets right now. All these different things are going down, and everyone's starting to think what would happen if, of course, somehow Mark Williams and Rob Pelinka come back together and he ends up being a Los Angeles Laker, which would be a bit ridiculous. And of course, it's crazy. You see your streets saying Hornets are buying out Mark Williams and Lakers sign him for free. I do not think there's a world where necessarily the Lakers go out and actually, get Mark Williams on the buyout market, because that would just be poor asset management by the Hornets. But the fact that there is clearly some tension there are some weird things going on in Charlotte Hornets land. They're keeping him out of games. They also claim that he isn't hurt, which is why they're, protesting the physical done by the Lakers, which we'll dive into in a second. But regarding this rumor, I want to get out of the way. Huge grain of salt. It is a rumor. It is not a report. I want to make that clear, but it is extremely interesting because it was clear in yesterday night's game against the Jazz. The Lakers desperately need a big man. Alex Len was terrible. Christian Coloco was not very good either. And Jackson Hayes went down with an injury. So a bunch of different things, as they start to come out, it's going to be very intriguing to see how, these things start to play out now. And it's at the point where they desperately need a big man. And if these rumors come to fruition, sign me up. Obviously, get Mark Williams as a buyout candidate. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? Of course, why wouldn't you? You get to keep Dalton, Knecht, all these different things. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Do you think that this rumor is real? Do you think it is just that, a rumor? But some other things that have been going down, and I want to dive into this. And some other thing to note as well, by the way, Mark Williams has followed a bunch of the Lakers players on Instagram, apparently recently, even after the trade got nixed. Full rumor land, full, conspiracy theorists right now. But it's still fun to kind of talk about, especially at a time where the Lakers desperately need a big man. It's not going to happen because the trade deadline's over. They signed Alex Len. So, a bunch of different things going on surrounding this rumor mill. We'll dive back into it in a minute here, but very strange. Obviously, following people on Instagram. I don't think following people on Instagram necessarily translates to anything, but we will dive into this. Now, David McMenamin dropped a report here, and it's a very interesting one. And it is basically saying the Hornets are not giving up on this deal. They're going to try to reverse it again. They are not satisfied with the Lakers' explanation of Mark Williams failing the physical, like a mock trial, and both teams will be present to present their cases, which is absolutely, absurd. And we'll probably have future videos on this. And David McMenamin, whether or not you think he's a good reporter, he has been fairly reliable, especially as of late. But man, oh man, is this intriguing. So we know that when the trade happened, everybody, was happy, Mark Williams and things like that. However, since then, we know the Lakers' explanation for not wanting to go through with the deal was because they had their medical staff review the papers before they went through with the trade. They accepted the trade. The papers came out clean, meaning, his injury history is fine. Now, that doesn't directly translate. We know that injury history on paper does not directly translate to, of course, him actually passing a physical. And when the Lakers doctors got with him, they clearly weren't satisfied with Now, what not was his back, we're hearing maybe his foot, his ankle, something of that nature. We haven't even heard yet necessarily what it is, but it wasn't his back. And clearly the Lakers weren't happy with what they were being presented by, with his physical. And as a result, which they were allowed to do, they nixed the trade. However, the Hornets now are coming back and saying, okay, he is healthy, he is good, etc. And then you start to think about why they're holding him out of games, right? I mean, the reason could be because they really genuinely believe that they have a chance to win this case and that Mark Williams is going to go back to the Lakers and the trade is going to go through, in which case Dalton Knecht would go to the Hornets in exchange. Dalton Knecht, 2030 swap and 2031 unprotected first for Mark Williams. And according to reports, like if this did happen and for somehow the trade got reversed, then the trade would just go through as is. I know there were some questions about that, but supposedly the trade would just go through as is. So, it would just be Mark Williams and Lakers. But the Lakers, I think one of the key reasons why they failed this physical is because I don't think it was buyer's remorse or anything like that, like some Hornets fans and people out there are speculating. I think it's as simple as they gave up a lot of future assets. They gave up Dalton Knecht and their 2031 unprotected first. And not only future assets, they gave up assets that would prevent them from getting a high caliber starting center next offseason, this upcoming offseason in the trade market. Now they're positioned to get a guy like Nick Claxton, right? They can position themselves or anybody else who comes up in the trade market. They have the assets for it. If they would go through with this trade and then Mark Williams turns out to not be healthy, playing 20, 30 games a season, they really limit their ability to get another center. Yes, you can go through the free agency market, all these different things, but there's not many great free agent centers out there necessarily that the Lakers can actually pursue with their cap hit and all these different things, the cap space. So the trade makes a ton of sense if Mark Williams is fully healthy. Now, he isn't, right? There's no doubt about it. He just isn't. That's why he's missing games. That's why he's at a point now where whether the Hornets are holding him out because they think they can win the case, whether it's because they're going to, buy him out. I don't think they're going to buy him out. There's some rare cases where, rookies and players can be bought out. Despite having guaranteed years, they would just eat the salary. So I don't know why the Hornets would do that unless they consider him a detriment to the locker room, which we've seen in the past with certain players. But it's extremely interesting. Like the rumor is interesting. You hear this from David McMenamin. The situation keeps getting crazier. And there is a real chance, and it says a mock trial, both teams will present their cases. I mean, the Lakers are going to say, hey, we gave up a ton of assets. The paper's cleared. The pre-evaluation was good. Once he got to the facility, it wasn't good. He clearly has this lingering issue that prevents us from being confident in his ability to stay on the court. And the Hornets may say, this isn't a big deal. The physical shouldn't be passed, all these different things. They're just backing out because they're scared of losing their young assets because someone else may have emerged. To be quite frank, you look, and I have this screenshot on purpose here. You think back to when they made the trade, this starting lineup looks a lot better than one with Jackson Hayes. Now, Jackson Hayes has played extremely well, but he's, went down with an injury in the game against the Jazz, and now is at the point where it's like, Alex Len played terrible. They are desperate when it comes to the starting center position or even backup center position, depending on Hayes' health. It's going to be interesting. The situation's absolutely ridiculous, and we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let us know down below what your thoughts are. Cheers.